And now Caroline Leavitt on camera outside the White House.
It was quite shocking to me to learn of the egregious violations of the law the Southern Poverty Law Center was committing. And I think that's a story that should be on the front page of every newspaper in this country because they've obviously been duping their supporters and the American taxpayers for far too long. It's a criminal organization, clearly, and that's not our DOJ saying that or Todd Blanche saying that. That's a grand jury indictment saying that.
A criminal organization. Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, making it very clear. Calling out the media blackout, put the SPLC alleged criminal conduct front and center. Now the focus shifts to the racket that critics say was built to manufacture fear, cash the checks, and keep the smear machine rolling. Brian Mudd writes, create the crisis, sell the fix, repeat. That's the SPLC model, and now they're facing federal wire fraud charges. Chuck Schumer's defense of them tells you everything. Listen to this take.
Joel's face is priceless.
Free express. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, what are they should be free to take money saying that they're combating, like the KKK, and then turn around and actually fund KKK efforts. That if you, among other things, if you take Chuck Schumer at face value, this situation actually looks bad enough that it could lead to the end of this ridiculous organization that has been a fraud shell front. Not just because of this, but for so many other reasons for decades now. The Southern Poverty Law Center is a scam organization, but they're not the only scam organization by far. I do think this could be like an Acorn situation when James O'Keefe exposed them way back when, in the early days of Project Veritas. But I want you to so this is straight out of Rules for Radicals, Saul Alinsky. Create the crisis and then address the crisis. Wash and repeat.
Wash and repeat. If that last clip exposed the SPLC playbook, this next one follows the cash. And what the paper trail shows is even uglier than the spin. This is Kash Patel. We played this earlier today. This was his appearance after the official indictments were handed down. And this is his appearance this morning.
Lie. The charity that supposedly fought the Klan funded the Klan. The charity that supposedly fought neo-Nazis funded neo-Nazis. The Southern Poverty Law Center ran a methodical, calculated scheme to defraud their donor base of $3 million and lied to them and used an illicit banking structure system to create shell companies to hide their money and who it was being sent to, specifically for the reason to sow discord and hate into our society. This is the ultimate definition of hypocrisy. And if you look at the indictment produced by the Department of Justice and the FBI, you will see that these banking institutions tie directly the funding mechanisms in which the Southern Poverty Law Center used to fund at least 8 hate groups they supposedly wanted to take out, but they were paying the very villains of our society they supposedly wanted to protect us from. That's the ultimate hypocrisy.
Oh, God, I'm so happy for this moment. I am so happy for this moment. The SPLC has been attacking me, Next News, for years. And now they're going to get their day. So the big reveal here is not just that the SPLC is accused of fraud, is that the entire business model, as critics describe it, was allegedly built on creating the threat, amplifying the threat, then fundraising and gaining political influence off the threat. As FBI Director Kash Patel put it, the money trail does not lie. As House Republicans argue, this deserves a much deeper probe. As the Trump administration pushes forward, the mask is finally coming off. So this so-called watchdog, they may have been operating as a narrative factory, one that helps shape public opinion, weaponize institutions, and smear political opponents while allegedly bankrolling the hate it claimed to oppose. That's not activism. That's corruption dressed up as virtue. And this is why tonight matters. The people who spent years pointing fingers at patriotic Americans are now the ones under federal scrutiny. And that is a massive America First moment. President Trump promised accountability, and this is what accountability looks like when the untouchables finally get touched. If the charges hold, then one of the left's most powerful moral weapons was a fraud machine all along. Now, I want to know what you think. Should Congress fully expose every tie between the SPLC, the legacy media, and officials from the previous administration? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments. Share this report everywhere because the corporate press clearly doesn't want this thing spreading. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't and text raw feed to that number on the screen, 844-840-4963, so you could bypass big tech suppression and get direct updates to your phone from me. And check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. Remember, Patriots, stay bold, stay loud, and keep fighting for the truth.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.